But we begin with this Fox News alert as the presidential nominating contest kicks off just hours from now. Welcome to the second hour of Happening Now. I'm John Scott.
Hi, everybody. I'm Jenna Lee. Months of campaigning, fundraising, and high hopes now put to the test as the people of Iowa finally have their say. We have live team coverage and analysis. Ed Henry following the red-hot Democratic race. But we begin with our chief political correspondent, Carl Cameron, who's live at a Ted Cruz campaign event in Jefferson, Iowa. Carl?
Yeah, it's still a little ways off. The crowd hasn't really even begun to line up. But Ted Cruz and all the candidates are talking about their crowd sizes, the enthusiasm, and the strength of their ground game. Donald Trump was over in Waterloo, Iowa, earlier this morning. Fairly sparse turnout for the billionaire frontrunner. And he made a fairly quick exit, too. In fact, when he got there, he basically said that he was going to have to get out quickly because he was going to have to drive rather than fly from Waterloo to Cedar Rapids. So ground game and organization becomes an issue. For Ted Cruz, he claims it's the biggest organization and ground game in the entire race. He has brought in hundreds, some even say more than 1,000 volunteers from across the country to canvass and door knock and help get people to the caucuses this evening. And to that end, he suggests Donald Trump's organization, to their view, is somewhat lacking. Watch.
You know, really, we're not finding Donald Trump's troops on the ground. They don't have an organization that is perceptible. And it's interesting, there are a lot of candidates who've spent more time in Iowa than I have, because we've spent a ton of time in Iowa. We've also spent a ton of time in New Hampshire, a ton of time in South Carolina, a ton of time all throughout the southern states, the Super Tuesday SEC primary, a ton of time in Nevada. And we are running a national campaign.
Very important rhetoric. When candidates start talking about a national campaign in the first-in-the-nation voting states, Iowa, New Hampshire, and South Carolina, what they are telling people is that they've got the money and the horses to go all the way to the end if necessary. Donald Trump was asked this morning on one of the morning shows if he thought he was going to win tonight, and he basically said, I don't know, I can't tell, we're going to have to see. That is not an expression of the confidence that Ted Cruz's camp have. They've been saying for the better part of the last 5 days that they think they are going to win tonight, regardless of whether it snows or not. And then there's Marco Rubio. Marco Rubio has been hustling all over the country trying to get ready for this. His strategy has been 3-2-1, come in third in Iowa, second in New Hampshire, and perhaps win his first race in South Carolina. He really has to win in Florida, which comes March 15th. But with the caucuses only a few hours away, here's a little bit of Marco Rubio.
I don't view that for anyone tonight. I mean, Iowa's important. It's the first step in this long process. But irrespective of what happens tonight, this campaign will continue. Tonight is important. It's the first time that any Americans will get to answer the question of what comes next for America after Barack Obama. So it'll be important. But no one's going to win the nomination tonight.
And that is an example of sort of downplaying expectations. Rubio surged into third place over the course of the last month. There are some who think that, and some in the Rubio camp who think that with a little bit of luck they might even take second, though they would never admit that publicly. That's the lowballing, the downplaying of expectations. All you got to do is better than what people thought you were going to do here. And in the case of Ted Cruz and Marco Rubio, they're both battling for that position. And for Donald Trump, who said if he ever loses, it means it's all for nothing, anything other than winning would seem like a setback for him.